Hi everyone and welcome back to Hungary. Today is June 7th and it is officially incredibly hot here in Hungary. It is, for the last week and a half probably, it's been around about 30 to 33 degrees during the day, and it's been brutal. But today I wanted to walk you through our garden. Since it's halfway through the year, I wanted to show you a little bit of what I've done so far this year, show you how our garden is progressing and how beautiful it is, even though it's lacking a little bit of moisture because it hasn't rained in well over a month. I want to walk you through the garden. So behind me, you can see I've built some lovely trellising systems for for the tomatoes mainly, but also we have right down below me, we have some zucchinis, we have some cucumbers, we've got some overgrown beets, which I have intentionally let go to seed so I can harvest these seeds. I did that last year as well. The seeds didn't turn out as well as I had hoped, but the majority of the seeds were good, which made me happy. I'm going to try that again. Then we have our peach tree, apricot tree, and it has a single apricot on it. I'm going to show you from a different angle because we have a single apricot, and it is very difficult to show you, but we only have a single apricot because the frost killed it during our fall spring, which is unfortunate, but we at least have one piece of fruit from that. And then here we have our peach tree, which is doing less than ideal because it's been struggling with some fungus issues. We have a few peaches that have survived, so I'm excited to eventually get those into our kitchen and harvest those. I think we have probably three. I think we have three left, which is not tons, but it is some, and I'm very happy with that. And over here, we have our persimmon tree. It's brand new. Well, I got it probably around February, March, planted it, and it's doing fairly well. I don't expect to get anything out of it this year because it's new, and that's just what happens. Right here, we have our beautiful, overgrown, massive strawberry patch, which has already yielded us to date 2.5 kilos, which is quite incredible. I'm really happy about that. We are trying to consistently water this so it stays healthy, giving us a lot of food and fruit. And then we have here a new bed. Been working on building this. It's got a few different things. So it has some kale cabbage, it has some broccoli, I believe, and then a single pepper plant there. And it's doing all right. Then up here we have our first patch of wheat. This I just randomly scattered around here last winter just because I wanted something here, and it started coming up and we've left it, and it's gonna give us a little bit of a harvest. We have another patch I'll show you in a second. This is the mini patch, and I'm very happy with this because we will harvest this and either make something for ourselves or just give it to the chickens. We have some blackberries here. They're doing quite well. They didn't do well last year, but as you can see, they are doing fairly well of the flowers that we're getting. And then as I walk you back through here, right along this, you saw in one of my shorts, I planted a whole bunch of onions in this bed, and they're doing well. They're not thriving, they're not suffering, but I think I will get a decent harvest from them. And then we have here a fekete ribizli, which is black currant. It's doing okay. There's a few berries that have already ripened, and I don't expect to get too many from this year's yield because it was only replanted from my mother-in-law last year. So it's about 2 years here. So it's doing well. Here we have our raspberries. These are looking quite lovely. There's not a whole lot of them yet, but there's a lot more than there was last year, because last year we only had probably two raspberries in total. With consistent watering, we've been able to get a decent harvest. But not yet, but there are a few just about to be ready for harvesting. And then as I walk through the jungle, I will show you this bed. I built this bed quite a few, like a couple months ago. I showed a quick short on this and I finished it. I planted some potatoes, planted some peas, some cucumbers, some marigolds, not marigolds, the marigolds, I think, marigolds. I got a tomato plant in there. I've got a mustard plant that randomly seeded itself because one of our neighbors does mustard seed during one of his rounds of his fields, and it just randomly made its way over, probably because a bird. So I'm going to actually track the progress of that. The seeds that this produces, I'm going to replant and see how many we can have from just that single plant. Behind, you can see our little pond, which is, it's okay. It's doing its job. And as I walk up, you can see our solar panels. And here we have our little flower garden, quite productive. It's been beautiful. We've got roses, we've got a lot of perennial plants here. We have a few hydrangeas. We have one remaining fig tree, which is doing incredibly, by the way. I got that a couple years ago, probably close to 4 years ago now. I got that from one of the local box stores here, and it's done well. And as you can see behind me, here is our second wheat patch. That's quite a bit bigger. I planted this because I wanted to give this bed a chance to really recover. And so I planted that last fall, and once it started coming up, I decided to just leave it and just see what it does. Now I can see we've got quite a bit of wheat here. Here we have some black radishes that have grown incredibly massive. I will show you a clip here. It's huge. As you can see, this shade cloth, I recently purchased this. Well, I purchased this actually last year, but I didn't put it up. But this year I know that there's going to be a lot more issues with heat. So I've decided to build this out, put this up last night, and so far it's doing an incredible job, because if I step under here, I can already feel a few degrees difference in the heat. So I'm incredibly happy with what this has done. And so this is going to help give these plants a little bit more chance during the drought season, during the heat. It's been crazy. And I fully expect this summer to be even more insane with the heat. There's been predictions for here in Hungary for the weather to get up to nearly 40 degrees in the summer, which wouldn't surprise me. And this is going to come in really handy. In this bed, I have a few kale plants, a few cabbage plants, and then a spinach plant, which has decided to go to seed because it's friggin' hot. And so I'm going to let that go to seed. I'm going to harvest those seeds, and I'm actually going to put nylon bags over that. Once it's done flowering and everything, I'm going to put nylon bags over that so I can actually capture the seeds in an easier way. You can see down here we have some beautiful plants, some beautiful flowers here. Self-seeded, don't know where they came from, but they're beautiful, so I let them stay. And then we have some carrots. I did plant some carrots intentionally in some square blocks, but I think during a rainy season in the spring, they just went everywhere. So this whole bed is now lots of carrots. Right here, I have moved some of our eggplants. We got some eggplant starts from a friend of ours, and so we put these in some grow bags. I wanted to move them around so they can get the most sun and the most heat that they can. I did move them under this for today because I wanted to experiment on just how they would react with less direct sunlight and more the shady sunlight. And so far I think they're doing well. The flowers definitely are doing well because they don't love the heat. Behind me there, you can't really see it too well because it's out of focus, but I have quite a few cabbage plants there, along with some kohlrabi plants on the other side of there. We have our fig plant, which is doing excellent. It's produced a lot of figs, probably around 20-25 figs. I have put some little baggies on there to prevent the birds from getting to those. I've got my potatoes here. These are an experiment that I've been doing. 3 different types of soil combinations. These are just about done, so that video will be coming soon. It's going to be really quick. This video is going to be awesome. I'm excited to see the harvests that I have gotten from each one of these. Here I have some incredible broad beans. So these are doing well. All things considered, they've struggled quite a bit with the area that I put them in. They just flopped over, which for next year I'm going to build more of a trellis system for those. That's going to be one of my mistakes for this year, is going to be trellising and a lack thereof. So these are doing well. I have quite a few beans. I'm squeezing them right now and they're quite soft. So I'm going to let these be for a little while. Once they start to harden up, then we'll harvest them. Last year I harvested quite a few, but I left them in our shed and the rats got to them and they are no more. The mice got to them. And here we have a few more things. Here we have our leek bed, and this is done quite well. So this is obviously year 2 for a lot of these. This is just about to start blooming here. A lot of these are just about done. I'm going to let pretty much all of them go to seed and capture as many seeds as I can. But we have some self-seeded leeks down here, which is quite exciting. Here we have another bed, our higher raised bed, which has the garlic in it. I put 2 cabbage plants in there. That was a bad idea because they have taken over the bed. This spinach, arugula plant has also taken over. I had to prop that up. That's been consuming a lot of the light from there, which is not terrible because it's absolutely delicious. We harvested some a couple days ago and they are a little bit spicy. Ooh, they were delicious. In fact, let's see. Yeah, spicy. Peppery. Yeah, quite spicy, actually. But they're good. It's delicious. Here I have some of our pepper plants. We got these from a local farm. They're doing okay. I wanted to put them in these grow bags because I want to be able to put them overwinter them easily. So I don't want to dig them up because last year we struggled with all of our peppers. These ones are going to give us some things. This actually has some peppers already, some flowers already, so I believe we will benefit from that. This little one, this is a it's a cheapish paprika. It's a spicy pepper. I don't know exactly what kind because we got it from Lidl. We got it from our grocery store, and I saved some of the seeds and planted those out. So this is not going to be huge. It's probably a orange or a yellow long spicy pepper. I don't like them very much because I don't deal with spice too well, but my wife loves spicy peppers, so this is for her. And then moving on up here, we have another pepper plant here. We have our little fire pit, which you just saw in one of my shorts. And we have our rosemary plant here. This one rosemary plant was taken from a little cutting from my mother-in-law and has turned now into a beautiful bush. We have our oregano. We have a few fruit trees here. along with another spicy pepper. These fruit trees are young. They are going to be large and hopefully incredible because we got them from a semi-local source here in Hungary, and the lady said that these are the very old kind, like very old varieties, and they grow slow, but they grow deep roots. So probably next year, I will plant them in their spot for forever. We have nashpoya, which I can't remember what a nashpoya is in English, but I will put the name here. We have a lemon tree, which is not doing amazing. It has this black film on it, and it's not struggling. It's just, I've washed it off a few times. It keeps coming back. I don't know what it is. It's not a mold, but I just don't know what it is. Then we have an apple tree, another apple tree. We have a couple cherry trees, and then a silva tree, which is plum, and that's what we have for our garden here. Moving on to the front. Our front yard consists of a few different things. What we have here is some beautiful flowering schneedling. I don't remember the English name. That's something I always struggle with, the English names versus the Hungarian names, because I'm primarily only using the Hungarian names now. But it's some sort of onion, and I'm sure I'll remember once I've finished actually filming. We have our cherry tree here, which is very ready to be harvested. We have quite a few kilos to harvest. That's delicious. And that's a look into our garden. Our garden is doing well, all things considered, and I'm very happy with how it's turned out this year. So thank you for joining me on my garden tour this mid-June, and until next time, viszontlátásra and goodbye.